Okay, guys, I'm here just trying to walk you through our research essay. So, I've given you the assignment. It's an essay, economy versus the environment. We talked about that in class. Basically, what you're going to do is you are going to pick a topic that is kind of a hot button issue right now, something that's infecting the environment, infecting the world, affecting why, and you're writing an essay about it because you're trying to convince young people to care. And so one of the things you could talk about here, so the first thing that you do is you open this up and you choose a topic, okay? This list here is a curated list that I've made for you that basically I know that there's enough information about these topics out there from reputable, reliable sources that you could write this essay. Um, if you have something that you want to write about that isn't on this list, you have to contact me directly about it and we have to have a discussion about it. So, for instance, you could look up previous pandemics or epidemics or diseases and how people dealt with them. So what you're doing is you're picking a topic and then you are creating an essay that explains the history of what the topic is, what is it, what is the problem or industry, what is its historical context, and you're writing why that topic needs to be understood by young people, and what you're facing. Like we talked about economy versus environment, like why is it so hard to right environmental wrongs, and you're arguing that here. So depending on which one you pick, so let's say I pick animal testing. Why do people animal test? Well, because it's a cheap, easy way to make sure that products are safe for living creatures, living beings, um, or whatever your research lends you to figure out. So that's one thing that I would include in my essay is the counter argument. So why are the people opposed to it? Why don't they just do the right thing? Make sure that you've got a strong introduction and a strong conclusion. And a plan, your essay should also include a plan for public response. So you've researched your topic, you've written about it, but why, what are you going to do about it? Like, if you decide to write about the packaging industry and how you get a box from Amazon and you open up that box and inside that box there's another box and inside that box there's a bag and inside that bag there's another little bag and then there's your thing. You know, all of that waste, like, well, my if it were my essay, I would come up with a plan of like, okay, um making it, coming up with legislation, making it illegal to have packages like that, things like that. So that's what you would also include. So that's kind of an overview of what the essay itself is. But the first step that you do is you pick your topic. Okay. Sorry, that's my email pinging. All right. So let's say I want to talk about, um, I don't know, animal testing. Okay. Let's say I want to write about animal testing. So what I do here is I would come over to the 3 article assignment, and I would type in here animal testing. All right. And then I would go and I would start researching an article about animal testing. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to start a new tab. I'm going to type in animal testing articles. Boom. And yay, look at all this stuff that we have here. And I see here that first came up a .gov. Hooray, I know that .govs are frequently reliable sources. So I'd go ahead and click on that, animal testing and medicine. If you decide to do animal testing as your topic, you might want to make sure that you might have to narrow it down to like animal testing with like pharmaceuticals like medicine or animal testing and makeup, because you might struggle, because this is not a super long essay. You might struggle to find enough research on like where you've got too much to go off of. But we could talk about that individually if that's what you decide to use as your topic. So I'm looking here, and boom, automatically on the top of this, I've already got historical context. Animals have been used repeatedly throughout history for biomedical research. So what I would do here, if this were my topic, is I would kind of look at this and I would be like, okay, this is I would start writing down facts about it and figuring out like this historical context and figuring out what I'm arguing. Like, why am I trying to convince young people that thinking about animal testing matters, et cetera, et cetera. Another thing that I would do is I would go ahead and make sure I've got my source cited so I can come back to it. So I'd go up here and I would click a new tab. I would go to mybib.com. As you remember, that's the one that we do MLA sources from. And I would highlight this, Control C, go to mybib, create citation, boom. There you go. So click on that, save. Yay, I have that citation so I can come back to it. So I've already done this. Okay, so let's say I go back to this, I go back to this assignment title. What is the title? I'm going to move this over here so it's less stressful for me. What is the title of this article? Animal testing and medicine. So I type that in. Can't spell apparently. All right, animal testing and medicine. Author. Who wrote this? Oh, look there, Rachel Hajar. So I'm gonna write that there. Rachel Hajar. Who published this information? Well, this is the U.S. National Library of Medicine, or the NCBI. I'm just going to put NCBI because that's who ultimately published this. So I'm just going to put the NCBI publishing date. When was this published? Sometimes you have to look a little bit. It's talking about Corona there at the top. Let's see. Okay, so I think that this is the publishing information. Hang on, let me see. Let's go back to our easy bib, or my bib. See what it says. 1995. Okay. So Heart Views is the original publication. That's like a journal. Okay. Let's just put 95 for now because that's information that we have. And then a 5-sentence summary. So who, what, when, where, why, how. So all we would do here is I would read this article and I'd be like, okay, what was this about? What's it talking about? And I would summarize. I would type my summary here. And then I write 2 questions that I still have after reading this article right here. And then I do the MLA citation. I could just come over to EasyBib, hit copy. That's the in-text citation. I want the full citation. It's gonna let me do that. Copy bibliography entry. So I copied it. And then boom, paste. All right. So I would be done then with that first one, and then I would go back to Google and I would find another one. So since I have this article that's talking about the history, the historical context, I'd say, okay, well, another paragraph I need to talk about the horrors of animal testing. Why is it bad? And so then I would go and I would Google that. And then I'd have an article of like, how do we stop animal testing? And then I would write, and maybe use that as my third article. Um, that is all you need to do for this week. This is the research portion of your essay. So you're going to take what you learned here and you're going to transform that into your research essay. And I will be working with you guys to help you figure that out when we get to that next week. This essay will be chunked. Yes, it's due April 20th, but like you'll have like pieces due certain days so we can make sure everybody's on the right track. So that concludes just kind of basic what you're supposed to be doing this week. If you have any questions, email me, reach out to me. I'm available if you want to schedule a video chat, or if you just want to send me a message on Classroom or through email, that's fine too. Keep working on your journals. You're doing awesome work on those. And stay safe.